Hello, welcome back to Raising Arrows Mama. Today I have another review for you. I talked about in my previous video about a product from Critical Thinking Co. that has helped us with our grammar this year, and it's called Editor in Chief. You can go check out that video if you're interested. But today I have another Critical Thinking Co. product that has just really helped our family to get some of the things we need. We did Latin for years. Okay, I say years. It felt like years. We did it for 2 years. And I love it, but I don't have the brain capacity for it right now. So I needed something that was quick and easy, but still got across some of those Latin and Greek roots that I really want my kids to have. And so we are using word roots beginnings. So I'm going to flip this around and show you what it looks like. All right, so Word Roots Beginnings, it says it's for grades 3 through 4. It's from the Critical Thinking Co. It is a very good beginning. It's for any age. I know that that's where it says to start. You wouldn't really want to start it earlier just because of the vocabulary and words used, but you could use this with any age. I am using this for, this past year we used it for our 4th grader, our 6th grader, and 7th grader, and it was a perfect fit. It was a great place to start, and we'll just keep going. We didn't start this until the last term, so my kids only did about 12 weeks of lessons or thereabouts. But as it says, it does prefixes, suffixes, and roots, and it has been a good place to start. Here is the table of contents. You can see how it goes through a lot of different prefixes and roots, a few suffixes, and then it continues on. Let's see here, we made it through all the way through the review of that first section in one term because we do about one a week. It does have a quick little note to parents, but this is an open and go, easy thing. Some of my kids can do it completely independently. My 4th grader needed some guidance, or at least wanted some guidance as she went through it. It does have an answer key, which is great. You have an introduction, you have some teacher suggestions, and then you jump right in. And as you can see, lesson 1, you're gonna get a prefix, the meaning of it, the root, and then the meaning of the roots. And I will say that sometimes this part can be confusing given the activity they're going to do at the bottom. And I'll give you an example here in a minute. But here you're going to read. This one is a little heavier reading as you learn how to do it, and you're going to match the picture. And then you have more of lesson 1. And so I would have them do, depending on the day, I'd have them, and the activities that listed, I have them do 2 pages a day, but it just really depends. So here you're going to underline and circle the different parts. Here you're trying to use the definition and find the right word. Down here you're going to, what are we going to do? Some roots can go together to form new words. So you have this example, and that goes on to here, and they're actually going to apply that. And then activity D is using it in a sentence, and it usually kind of follows a similar pattern, not always, but fairly simple. And so you have the explanation of how it does. The first few lessons are heavier on the explanation. As you get further in, you have a little less explanation. So for example, here we have lesson 10, and we have grad means step, and then you have gradual, graduate, graduation, gradient. And so things like that where it changes how you pronounce it in English, that is a bit confusing for my younger ones. Some of these definitions aren't the most helpful in actually understanding the full definition of the word when you put together. And so often I would go through the vocabulary box and just say, well, which words do you know what they mean? And then I would give them the definition of which one they did and explain how it comes up to here for my 4th grader. My big kids were able to pick it out. There were very few words that they didn't already know or have an idea of or couldn't figure out. And so then here you've got a definition, and you've got to find the right word in the little note. Activity B, we're using it in a sentence, and then you go on to the next lesson. So see, that one only had 2, and it just kind of depends on the lesson. Then you have your review, and I had them do this side and this side, where they were underlining, where they were trying to create the words and all that. I had them do this orally because why waste their little precious hands writing unless they really have to? So you can see we skipped some of that just because we did it orally. And then it goes on. And so you have the reviews every so often. And then, so we stopped right there at 13 was the last one. That this is my 7th graders. She'll be doing it again for 8th grade, and she did really well with this. She needed very few help, and this is my child who actually struggles with reading, and especially words like this. So this has been very helpful for her to see them come together, because she does struggle with words. I will say that the one thing that it doesn't teach is how to pronounce. So like we were saying, you know, gradual, gradient, where it changes like that, was something we had to discuss. But otherwise, we really have loved this. It has been great. We're going to continue on this next year with it, because it is a great way to get those roots, prefixes, and suffixes in, which is something that I want them to have. Maybe someday we'll go back to Latin, but this was the crux of what I really wanted them to start picking up is in their vocabulary, because like I said, my kids know, like my daughter knows consent, she knows sentiment, she knows sensitive, she knows sensation, she knows insensitive, and she may or may not know dissent. That one might be a new word. But using them properly in a sentence, using them, understanding their definitions, and understanding that they are actually, that the this means a part or opposite of. She's picking that up, and I really appreciate that for my child who is mildly dyslexic, but also my children who are great advanced readers. This is helping them to break it down and understand. So I hope this has helped. If you have any questions about word roots, we're only in the first book beginning, so I don't really have the other books, so I can't tell you about them, but I do plan to continue with it until foreseeable future. So thanks again for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, drop a little tree emoji at the bottom for word roots. Have a great day.